Hey guys, welcome back. And for today's video, we're going to learn on how to create a REST API using Prisma. So now, without any further ado, let's get started. To start with, let us create a new folder and set up the basic node configuration. So let's start. Next, let us install now the TypeScript packages as part of this requirement. So let's begin. And for the packages, we need to type the TypeScript, which is the TS node, and the types, and save that as step. So let's start. Next, let us configure now our TypeScript by typing this command, npx tsc --init. So let's start. From this section here, notice the file, the tsconfig.json, and as you click this one, you will see that there's a bunch of configuration here for your TypeScript configuration. On the next round, let us summarize or only set up the basic config for these requirements. So let's start. For our minimal requirements, let us copy this code line here and overwrite the config under the TypeScript config.json. So let's start. Next, let us install now the Prisma CLI as a development. by typing npm install prisma save -deb. So let's start. Next, let us install now the Prisma extension pack for VS Code. And to do that, let us search for Prisma VS Code extension. So let's start. From this section here, select the first Prisma selection. And notice here, so this is the extension for VS Code. Just add that to your VS Code by click the install. But for this example, I already installed that in our VS Code. Finally, let us set up the Prisma with the init command of the Prisma CLI. And for our example, I'll be using SQLite. And for that command, let us type by typing npx prisma init data source provider and the name of the database, so which is the SQLite. So let's start. Once done, let us examine our project. Under here, we have the .env. As you can see, this is the database URL. Next to that, notice here the Prisma folder. And under here, we have the schema.prisma. Once you select that, you can see there are two code lines here. The first one is the client, and the second one is the data source DB. Now, we will be using that on our command later on. So for now, let's keep it that way. Next, let us generate our schema by typing this example here. From our example, we have our model user and our model role. All of these lines here are made for generating our table. So let's start. Under section here, just paste the code line. And there you go. Once done, next, run a migration to create the database tables with Prisma Migrates. And to do that, let us type by typing npx prisma migrate dep name init. So let's start. Notice here, under Prisma folder, notice that it has auto-generated the dep.db, which is the database, and the migration folder. So this is where the action takes place. So let's wait for this one, and let's complete that till all the migrations were successfully executed. All right. At this point here, our schema were successfully created in our database. So notice this line here, it generates the migration, which is the migration file. As you can see, this was extension to .sql. And beside that, there are other section here. It says that database is now synced with your schema. Now, to check that, let us head over from our DB, or which is the .db, and the migration. Once you click that, okay, so you can see the files generated by our migration. So it will be in a form of .sql. Once you examine that, notice the command line here. It was written in SQLize basic command, which is the create. So which means that we're just creating the table under this section. Next, to check if our tables was successfully created in our database, let us view that in our browser. And to do that, let us type the following by typing npx Prisma Studio. So from this point here, let us head back to our code under terminal. Okay, let's clear this up. Then paste the command line and hit enter. From this section here, it will forward you to the URL, which is the localhost 5555. Then notice here, it will auto open a browser, which if you're going to examine that, it will display all the models like this section here. So we have the role, and the user. And there you go. So that's it, guys. On the next tutorial, let us create a simple root application for the setup. But for now, if you find this video informative, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And see you guys on next video series. Cheers!